At the end of July 2023, I celebrated my 4th year in my tiny house on wheels. First in Alberta, Canada, and now in British Columbia, still Canada. And every year I do a recap of what each year has been like, just my thoughts on it. I do have a playlist that you can go and look back at the first three. In so many ways, it has just flown by. As I reflect back at the last 12 months, I have to say that this 4th year has been the most, what's the right word? It's just been the most of all 4 years. It's been the most exciting, the most stressful, the most work. This last year has been monumental and just so much more than I expected it to be. And so I just kind of want to give you a recap of what happened in my 4th year. So let's go back in time to August, the end of July, August 2022. I announced at the end of July, beginning of August, that I had found my tiny house parking spot here on Vancouver Island. I flew down to look at the property. All I had done is seen pictures and talked to the owners via, FaceTime. So I flew down to have a look at the spot. And it was pretty raw. It had not been cleared, it had not been graveled, it wasn't ready for a tiny house in any way, shape, or form. But the landlord was motivated to get some rental income coming in and really did a fantastic job of having the spot prepared and ready for me. So we set the move date for the end of September, and I found myself a mover, A&N Transport, Andrew and Noemi, who are amazing. And I'll put the contact information down below. So then the process began of getting the house ready to go. I had never moved the house, so there was quite a bit of work to be done. So we got it all done. I got the house packed up, everything was in boxes on the floor, anything that was on the walls came down, and we were ready to go. And I was pretty darn excited. This was the biggest thing I had done since moving into the tiny house. We were moving, I think it's like 630 or 650 miles, over 1,000 kilometers. We were going over the Rocky Mountains. We were getting on a 2-hour ferry ride across the Pacific Ocean from the mainland of British Columbia to Vancouver Island. The tiny house had to be ready for that, and I had to be emotionally ready. Luckily, my youngest, Jamie, had agreed to come with me, so they were my co-pilot. I was pulling a U-Haul trailer, 18-foot or 22-foot U-Haul trailer behind my van, and I was following Andrew and Noemi. And off we headed down the highway, Highway 1, to British Columbia. That was such a huge highlight of that this last year, was just making it to Vancouver Island. And I started the process of getting settled in. So that was the end of September. Beginning of October and November was basically getting settled in. Towards the middle of December, got a knock on the tiny house door by a bylaw officer because a neighbor had complained about the tiny house being there, and that just started a whole process. I'd put that out of my mind because she had said nothing was going to happen until the new year anyways, and so I put it out of my mind because Keaton was coming for Christmas and I really wanted to focus on that. So I had actually an amazing Christmas. I was able to pretty much just let that go and be in the moment with my kid here for Christmas. We spent so much time at the beach. We just explored, had great food, had so many laughs. I was just so grateful to be here. But the fact was that there had been a complaint, and there was now a file opened that had to be dealt with. So ultimately, it came down to I couldn't live in my tiny house while the exemption process was happening, while my landlord was trying to deal with this. I made the decision to start looking for another spot, and I ended up with 5 options, 3 of which were contenders. And so the process of getting the house ready to move again started. A month before I had to not be living in the tiny house in its current spot, the tiny house moved out of there, and there was some drama about that. You know, I'd say this 4th year of living in the tiny house, the theme for it has to be stress. Stress and anxiety and drama. By the end of the 4th year of living in this tiny house on wheels, the tiny house has been in 3 different locations, 2 provinces. I had moved twice. I had left all of my support system behind and had to start brand new. And I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. And it was tough. This last year of living in the tiny house has been the most difficult year of living in the tiny house. When I look back at those videos, I'm blown away at how much happened, how much I got accomplished. There were a lot of learnings, there were tears, and I am so grateful to my friends back home and here on the island. I'm so grateful to my kids for being so supportive and amazing and helping me out. So grateful to A&N Transport, Andrew and Noemi, for the care that they took with my tiny house. So grateful to Joe Horvath, my handyman, because he was just so amazing and tireless. I could not have done it without him. I'm just grateful to be here and to be settled. And I know that the 5th year in my tiny house is going to be a hell of a lot calmer. It's been quite the year, and if I could say what the biggest takeaway from it has been, is that you can handle so much more than you think you can. And I just broke my tripod. So I'm propping it up with my feet. But what I wanted to say was thank you. Thank you for coming along on this ride with us. It's been so awesome to have you guys as my co-pilot. Your support, your advice, your encouragement, your funny comments have been my soul food throughout this past year. And I know that you guys care about us, about Sophie and I, and that means the world to me. And I'm glad that you have enjoyed the ride without having to go on the stressful ride. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're staying safe. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, because this world needs more kindness. I love you, and I'll see you next time.